The second I was born, my hair just started going absolutely crazy. My dad freaked out and grabbed a pair of scissors, but he wasn't fast enough. He couldn't keep up with how fast it was growing. The room filled up with hair, real quick. It even wrapped around the palace animals and choked them to death. Everyone panicked and ran. Lucky for me, a traveling Taoist master happened to pass by. He gently pressed a finger right between my brows, and just like that, the hair stopped. Everyone called me a monster. Even my own parents wanted me dead. But my sister rushed over and caught me. She held me tight, shielding me with her whole body, begging them to spare my life. Zhang Luying made a solemn vow right then and there. She swore she'd raise me right, but father couldn't even be bothered to look at me. My sister and I got thrown into the cold palace. She named me Wanga. I grew up under the cold stares of the palace servants, but my sister always had my back. So even though I was burning with resentment inside, for her sake, I kept my head down and played nice. I figured life would just stay that way forever. Then I turned 16. Northern Shuo's army broke through southern Yao's border. After losing 3 cities in a row, the emperor had no choice but to negotiate peace. One condition, send the firstborn princess as a bride. The day the imperial decree came down, my sister stood by the window the whole night. At dawn, she turned around and smiled at me. Wanja, your sister is getting married. I grabbed her sleeve and told her I'd go beg father myself. I'd tell him to send me instead. They hate me anyway. Liu Ying gently shook her head. You are a princess of southern Yao, but you're not the firstborn. Northern Shuo wants the legitimate princess. That's just the rule. Then don't go. Let's just run. She pulled me close. Wanja, I am a princess of southern Yao. This is my duty. I watched her pack up her things, watched her put on the red wedding gown, watched her climb into the carriage heading north. When the procession rolled out the palace gates, I chased after it for a long time, until that flash of red completely disappeared. Liu Ying turned back and waved at me. Her lips mouthed, "Live well." Those were the last words she ever said to me. But less than 3 months later, the Northern Shuo delegation showed up in southern Yao again. No festive drums, no grand procession, just a plain beat-up cart, carrying a black wooden coffin. Father received the envoy in the main hall. I hid behind the screen. The Northern Shuo envoy, some greasy, middle-aged guy, talked with a smile that made me sick. Princess Zhang couldn't adjust to the climate. She caught an illness and passed away. Total lie. I burst out from behind the screen, ignored everyone trying to stop me, ran straight for that coffin, shoved aside anyone in my way. The lid wasn't nailed shut. I shoved it open. Screams exploded through the hall. There was a body inside, if you could even call it that. Her face had been destroyed. Crisscrossed wounds, rotted and black. Her limbs were twisted into impossible angles, clearly broken, then forced back into place. Her stomach was swollen and distended, like something had been stuffed inside. The most gut-wrenching part was the shredded wedding gown, covered in stains. Couldn't even tell if it was blood or something worse. Sis! I reached out to touch her face, but my hand froze midair. That wasn't my Liu Ying. My sister had the most beautiful smile in all of southern Yao, the gentlest eyes, the most graceful hands. What lay in front of me was just a broken pile of flesh. Father's voice was trembling. What is the meaning of this? The envoy let out a fake sigh. When Princess Zhang first arrived in Northern Shuo, she got arrogant and overstepped. She offended Empress Kui. Then she tried to poison the emperor. When it came to light, she took her own life out of shame. Our emperor is merciful, though. He still sent her back with full princess honors. Indeed. And His Majesty also wanted to say, this need not damage the relationship between our kingdoms.
If your majesty is willing.
Another princess could be sent to carry on the alliance. In the hall, my mother slapped her hand over my mouth, but I still heard it. The sound of my own teeth nearly cracking. That night, I slipped out with a dagger. Laughter was drifting from where the delegation was staying. The Northern Shuo envoy's voice floated out of the courtyard, dripping with sick satisfaction. What a joke of a border kingdom. Their firstborn princess is dead, and the emperor doesn't even make a peep. But you gotta admit, she was a princess after all. Nothing like your average girl. That experience, it was something else. Tell me about it. The way she cried, so damn pitiful. If Empress Kui hadn't given the order to ruin that face of hers, what's there to feel bad about? We sent the body back just to score ourselves another princess, right? Knew they were too spineless. This emperor wouldn't dare refuse. Ha! If he does, Northern Shuo's iron cavalry will level this whole border region. Wonder if the next one will be just as soft and tender. Enough for another round of fun. I leaned against the wall and took a slow, deep breath. My sister's body. These men and their disgusting, filthy talk. It was enough to piece together what really happened. I'm going to kill them. Every single one of them is going to pay for what they did. My hand shook around the dagger. My chest was numb with grief. I kept gripping that dagger tight, until I stormed straight into the imperial study. A few senior officials were already there. Your Majesty, Northern Shuo has breached Yanmen Pass. If we don't send another princess, we may not even hold the palace. I'll go to Northern Shuo. In the imperial study, Father looked up at me, like it was the first time he'd ever really looked at me. I was 16 now. My features were about 70% like Liu Ying's, especially the eyes. What did you say? I'll go to Northern Shuo as the bride. All they want is a princess of southern Yao, right? Isn't that right? Father went quiet. He was calculating. I knew southern Yao was weak. We couldn't afford another war. Sending me, the cursed princess, would satisfy their demands and keep his beloved daughter safe. What a deal. You want revenge for Liu Ying? Your Majesty is joking. I simply feel that a sister's unfinished duty should fall to me. High-minded words. But we both knew exactly what it really was. He needed the excuse, and I needed their lives. Helenting was brutal. Empress Kui was even worse. Time to let them have a taste of my bad luck. Father finally nodded. Maybe he felt a sliver of guilt. Or maybe he just wanted to be rid of me. 3 months later, I set out on the road to Northern Shuo. On the day I left, Father actually showed up at the palace gates himself. Wanja, come back alive! I bowed to him. As I turned and stepped into the carriage, I said it in a voice only I could hear. I will survive, but some people have to die. I finally stepped foot in the imperial city of Northern Shuo. Emperor Helenting received me in the main hall. Empress Kui Yurong sat beside him and looked up. I raised my head without saying a word. Empress Kui covered her mouth and laughed. Has southern Yao run out of people? Sending this cursed thing to disrespect us? I locked eyes with her and said slowly and clearly, Wanja serves his majesty with a sincere heart, unlike some people rotten to the core. The smile froze on Empress Kui's face. The emperor laughed. Interesting. What's your name? Zhang Wenge. The emperor waved his hand and assigned me to Huayang Palace, the palace closest to his own chambers. Empress Kui's face went stone cold. Then she pulled me aside to her chambers alone. I looked her straight in the eye. The girl in the mirror was striking, draped in fine robes and golden hairpins. It only made her look better. She leaned down and looked at me, grabbed my chin, forced my face up, just like your sister. A born seductress, I smiled. So you're saying I'm just as beautiful as my sister? Kuei Yurong's expression shifted. She raised her hand to slap me. If there's anyone in this world who gets to hit me, it's only my sister. I grabbed her wrist, without flinching. Your Highness, watch yourself. If that hand ends up in the wrong place and leaves a mark on my face, His Majesty won't be pleased. Kuei Yurong's face twisted in pain. She shot a look at her maids, then hissed at me. You little wretch, how dare you lecture me? I need a special day just to slap you? Yeah, you do. I let go and sat down like I owned the place. I touched my face. What a face. For it to make the people who killed my sister hate me this much. I reeled it back in. I smiled sweetly. His Majesty hasn't touched me yet. If he gets the urge tonight, who would dare make a move? Empress Kui actually backed off. She shot me a venomous glare. Then something crossed her mind. She laughed. Then you'd better pray he never beds you. Because the princesses who've been with him, well, you know how that ends. My sister came to mind. My smile grew wider, but I said nothing. Wei Yurong gave me a strange look. She waved me off in disgust. You're bad luck, honestly insane. That night, I was brought to the Yangxin Palace.